Morning, superstar. Hope you had a good weekend. Okay, so we tried this sort of bigger shoulder turn, and not necessarily a terrible thing to try and figure out and try and practice. I think at some point we would have tried it with the driver anyway, because essentially, ideally, what we want with the irons is a 90-degree shoulder turn. Okay, and then if we can go sort of 100 or just past 100 with the driver, then that's a good thing. That's what most good players do. All right. Okay. So again, don't be too upset about it. Whatever, good thing to try. So with the irons, okay, it wasn't working at all, right? So you kind of like over rotating and then getting a little bit of a lean here, and obviously that affects our back tilt. And as we know and have learned, that back tilt has a huge or even predominant effect on swing play. All right. So from here, sort of big turn, and then once you got here, the club got too high and across the line. Obviously, a little bit of a lean as well. All right, and then obviously from there, the downswing plane, okay, was way too high. That club arm depth because of the back tilt was out, and that club head was not dropping at all. Okay, so a bit of a mess with the irons, but it doesn't matter. As I said, something worth trying. Okay, so it's all good. Where you want to maximize, if we can stretch the driver, and we are going to look at it now that you've practiced it, where you want to maximize is sort of how much we can turn, keeping our angles and obviously keeping the club on plane. All right, but it's the separation between lower and upper body. All right, and then obviously add in some speed. So at the gym, do a bit of speed training, but we can't just sort of over rotate and lose all our angles, and as I said, most importantly, lose the swing plane. All right, so again, good little thing to try. Well done, and we can incorporate a little bit into the driver, which we're going to do. Okay, so going into the wedges. All right, so wedges in your warm up there. All right, wedges. I want sort of flattish plane, no elevation or separation with those wedges. All right, and then putting the towel there. To control the low point. Okay, just more than a club head is good for a wedge. All right. Okay, so I'm going to take it nice and flat, stay really, really centered. All right, turn through and cover it. No adding back tilt with wedges, otherwise you'll hit behind them. Okay, so work through those wedges for me so you can understand length and plane. Okay, I mean, obviously we know we want those wedges dialed in a little bit better. Okay, but you've got to understand length, plane, and low point consistently because they are just a little bit different. Wedges, irons, and driver. The length, I mean, the plane ends up being the same, but the length is a little bit different. Setup and the low point or back tilt is a little bit different. Okay, so little wedges to start off with the towel. Okay, nice setup. Nice sort of shallow, compact swing. No elevation and no adding back tilt. Okay, so hit your wedges. Okay, it's a 6 iron, so it's not going to get up in the air. Okay, nice and controlled, nice and... Okay, flat, shallow, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that's your wedges. Right, then irons, we're going to get back to where we were at with the irons. Okay, so if you want to think of 90 degrees shoulder turn, that's fine, but no more than that. But our two big things with the irons, no leaning at the end of that backswing, okay, because that's what the over rotation of the shoulders caused. All right, but most importantly, let's get this move back. So obviously as the hips move against the shoulders, we drop that right shoulder, but we've got to drop the club head as well. Okay, so that's why it's so important to set there, so that as we pull and the right over pulls in, we've got to get the club head dropping. Okay, so just do somewhere. Sorry, I was just thinking back. That's when we did sort of opposite direction drill and right hand only drill. That was to get this move. We want that move to happen as a byproduct. So if your hands are soft and your sequencing is good, hips go first, your right elbow reacts, which means the club then club head then flattens or drops onto plane a little bit, right? Okay, but it doesn't matter, just go, because you did it like 2 weeks ago by yourself, all right, without those. I'm just kind of explaining it so you know. Okay, so nice backswing, all right, and then we're going a little bit of back tilt, a little bit of club head. Okay, so we're working on that transition. Okay, the irons, all right, and then driver. Okay, we're going to try and get that 100, 105 degrees of shoulder turn. All right, so we are going to try that, but we need it with drill one. So we need it with the back tilt, especially. So that's what I said in your notes about staying behind it. So if you go a big shoulder turn, but you get here, okay, you can see what happens to the club head. Okay, so we go that big shoulder turn, 100, 105 degrees, and then we lean. That's when the club head goes off plane, right? So they want that big shoulder turn. Okay, a little bit of back tilt, but staying way behind it with the driver. Okay, so big shoulder turn with the driver. Okay, but then stay behind it. Okay, end of the backswing and start of the downswing. Really stay behind the golf ball. All right, that's going to create the arm depth in the swing plane that we want. Okay, so driver rep with the 6-iron. Okay, big shoulder turn, stay behind it. Okay, and obviously with the 6-iron, it's going to launch a little bit too high because I'm too shallow and my low point is slightly out. Okay, but that's the driver idea. All right, so work through it. Again, don't be too hard on yourself. Good thing to start figuring out because it teaches you a lot about the other parts of the golf swing of what we've been doing, especially in the last couple of months. But also it's a good thing to try and incorporate with the driver. Okay, thank you. Let me know if that all makes sense. If you need any other explanation, and then obviously review back or refer back to the videos again. It should make sense, all right, as you're understanding it. And then obviously send some videos and do your drills during the week, please. Alrighty. Thank you, Superstar. Talk to you later.